Hello again, people. Today we are going back to some Deltarune Theory crafting and discussion. Today's topic of discussion is regarding Hyperlink Blocked, and what it truly is. Like with all my theory videos, please feel free to leave your thoughts down below regarding today's topic. But first, some context. If you played Deltarune Chapter 2, then of course you know about everyone's favorite #1 rated salesman, 1997, Spamton G Spamton. Spamton meets Kris in a dark alleyway and offers them something called Hyperlink Blocked. You see, Spamton is trying to offer something to Kris, but he does not have the ability to convey what this actually is. Allow me to explain. Spamton is based off of spam emails, unsolicited communications sent to large amounts of people for the purpose of phishing or spreading malware. Occasionally, spam emails could include a hyperlink leading you to a website or a download page. So what happens when a hyperlink is blocked? Hyperlinks, or links as most people refer to them as, are pieces of text that lead you to external web pages on the internet. The internet is referenced many times throughout Chapter 2 to be down or experiencing an outage. This would cause a hyperlink to an external site to be blocked, hence the term Hyperlink Blocked. Knowing this, we soon realize that every single time Spamton says Hyperlink Blocked, he means something else entirely. Something he cannot speak of because he cannot access the internet. So the question is, what does Spamton mean when he says Hyperlink Blocked? I have compiled some ideas from the community, and for good measure, I have thrown in my own. Let's get right down to business. To figure out what Hyperlink Blocked is, I started by compiling all the things it couldn't be. Things that Spamton is allowed to say. Spamton can say freedom unhindered, so it's not that, even though it would be a fitting answer. A lot of people also think that it would be determination, but you see, determination is something that Kris already has. It's explained by Queen that to create a dark fountain, a lightner must have determination. Regardless of defeating Spamton or not, remember, Spamton is an optional boss, Kris still comes home to create the dark fountain at the end of Chapter 2. Kris had determination this whole time, and Spamton made it seem like Hyperlink Blocked was something Kris would have wanted. It couldn't be soul either, because whether the red soul belongs to Kris or not, they still possess one, so it can't be soul. Which brings us to our next step. To determine what Hyperlink Blocked is, we can use our knowledge of grammar to decide what it is based on how it's used in a sentence. And of course, after compiling every single time that Spamton uses the term Hyperlink Blocked, we can determine that it is in fact a thing. Let's try some options from the community. Love. Love is a symbolic substance. It doesn't exist in a physical form. When Spamton says vacationing and burning acid while you soak in the Hyperlink Blocked, yes, love makes a little bit of sense. But considering the other examples, I doubt that Spamton is talking about love. Also, we would have to consider Spamton's intent. Spamton is a businessman who is very materialistic. I don't want to be the person who's like, Spamton only cares about money, he doesn't know what love is. But you see, that's sort of the point of Spamton. He is a cartoonishly selfish businessman who has his own agenda. Choices seems to be another prevailing answer the community came up with. Makes sense. It's something Kris wants, seemingly. It could be something you can metaphorically soak in. However, we need an answer that fits all of Spamton's phrases. When he gives you the keygen with his downloaded self onto it, is he giving you his choices? During his first fight, is he saying that in the morning a few choices sound good? That's what makes this mystery so difficult. We need an answer that fits everything. I should note that occasionally he uses 2 sets of brackets when he says Hyperlink Blocked. I initially thought that this meant that there were 2 different words that Hyperlink Blocked could mean, but he uses the same word in other sentences using 1 or 2 sets of brackets interchangeably, so I'm just gonna chalk that up as inconclusive for now. Okay, so let's bring together everything we know. For sure, we know it's a thing, you can figuratively or literally soak in, but also have it in the morning, but it can also be seen as a reward. After bringing together everything that we know, only one word comes to mind, and that word is independence. Remember, freedom and independence coincide with each other, but they're not the exact same thing. Freedom is the power or the right to act, while independence means that you are not subject to the control of others. Very interesting considering Kris's special circumstances. Independence would be something Kris would desire. Also, independence is something that Spamton would desire as well. He is a darkner, which means that for him to exist, someone needed to create a dark fountain. He is dependent on the lightners for his existence. So now this would beg the question, why is the word independence blocked while the internet is out? Using what we know about blocked hyperlinks in the real world, we can assume that this is more than likely a piece of information. Information that will give Kris their independence back, give Spamton his independence. But because the internet is out, they cannot obtain it. Think back to Spamton's story told by the Addisons. Spamton was desperately looking for a way to make it big, become more popular. He eventually found some outside help through the phone. Whoever you think was on the other end of that phone, whether it was Mike or W.D. Gaster, one thing is certain. Spamton for a long time was dependent on this person. When he became successful after this person's help, his friends stopped going out with him. So when the person on the phone stopped helping him, he was all alone. No one to turn to, no one he could depend on. So that is why Spamton set out on this quest to get big again, take back control of his life, reach out, and touch heaven. Upon completing the Spamton Neo boss fight, Spamton finally accepts the truth. All he ever amounted to was a simple puppet, constantly being used, never truly having freedom, no independence, no hyperlink blocked. The tragedy of Spamton G Spamton speaks to those around the world who constantly seek fame and fortune. Material possessions and fame pale in comparison to meaningful relationships with friends and family. Don't be like Spamton or the Addisons. The idea that people will only like you if you're rich and famous is born from insecurities and bad social support. I wonder how things would have been different for Spamton if his friends weren't so jealous of his success, or simply helped him in the first place to achieve his dreams. This also highlights the strengths of our fun squad. They work together in almost everything they do, and together, they will face whatever this night has for them. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want, tell me what you think Hyperlink Blocked is. Goodbye.